Christ Church, we have been blessed with the ministry and music of Josh Havens. He has played at the 9:15 and 11 o'clock service. He's been connected to our youth program. He's led one of our renewal services in the evening. And it seemed good to me to introduce him to the congregation in this way and to let him tell in his own words something about his life, his Anglican roots, his family, his marriage, and the ministry that he has on the road, and also a little bit about the kind of prayer support that he would like from Christ Church. So welcome to Josh Havens. Josh, good to have you at Christ Church.
Thank you.
You're not new to the Anglican Communion. Tell us a little bit about your background and how you were raised in the Episcopal Church and that.
Well, I was born in a little town in Wisconsin, and my dad, he milked cows to pay the rent and built pipe organs, and that was his passion. And he had played pipe organ in the Episcopal Church while he was in school. And so years later, when we moved down to Texas for his work, we ended up going to some Episcopal churches. And he really liked the richness of the liturgy and the history in the church. And so because of that, we went to a couple different Episcopal churches in the area. We attended a church called Resurrection. Mm-hmm. That's where I was baptized.
Right, with Father Ted?
Father Ted baptized me.
All right.
And then we ended up going to a small little Episcopal church called St. David's. And then later went to Incarnation near downtown because of their music program. I started playing classical music when I was a young kid, and I started singing in their boys' choir, and that was really fun. They have an organist there who's really passionate about their music program and takes it very seriously. So they had a very traditional, in the English style, boys' choir. And so, we traveled around, we made recordings. It was a great experience. And then after that, we kind of floated around to some different non-denominational churches. And I don't know, I really missed the liturgy and the Eucharist. And just the history of the church. I really had an appreciation for it. And the more I was away from it, the more I realized how hungry I was for that. And so when I got married, Kara, my wife, and I, we started going to a little church in Garland called Holy Trinity. And that's where we went for a couple years. Uh-huh. And we were there when a couple of our children were born. And then later on, ended up coming to Christ Church. Some friends of ours told us about Chapel Hill.
It seems to me like you love the Anglican tradition. You
Absolutely.
love the liturgical, the communion part of that.
I love that the way that we worship has been done pretty much the same way for centuries. Uh-huh. And I love that the theology is not new and changing, but it's consistent and has stood the test of time. And it's basically, what the disciples believed.
Right.
And there's not any kind of new revelation of theology that's coming out.
Absolutely. Well, you got that right. That's Anglicanism in a nutshell. It's old, but there's a freshness to it.
Absolutely.
Now, you talked about your wife, Kara,
Yeah.
And you've got a couple of kids.
I have
three kids.
children. Yeah, I have a little boy, Ethan, who's 5. I have a little girl, Adeline, who's 3, and a little girl, Amelie, who's 1.
There's 1.
So on Sunday morning, we come and take over the nursery.
Yeah. But when you're not here, and you're not here every week, but when you're not here, it's not that you're just sleeping in. Where are you over the weekends?
When I'm not at church, I have a band, and we travel around the country and play shows, and we have a ministry. And the band is called The Afters, and we're signed to Columbia Records and a Christian label called I&O. We tour a lot. We play shows in every state, and we see God work in people's lives all over the country. Every night that we play, we hear stories of how God has used the music to impact their lives, and we see people come to know Christ, and it's just been an amazing ministry. And we partner with other organizations like the Billy Graham organization, and we played at some of his crusades. We have some more of those coming up later this summer. And that's what I do when I'm not here. We play shows and reach people, try to reach the lost.
For me, I love what you do on Sunday morning. You don't take the stage, you don't take a spotlight, but you do lead worship, and you do some things sometimes after a message that are quite heart-rending. But I took the occasion to listen to your 2 albums, and I've got to say, I love them. I listen carefully to the words I loved the melodies. The words were impactful. It was really terrific.
It's not the end, but it feels like it is.
The Afters have been very blessed. We've been a band for 10 years and been signed for about 5 years, and we stay really busy. And we've had a lot of great things that have happened to us. We've had songs used in movies and television shows, on major networks, and God's used our music in a lot of places that Christian music normally wouldn't be.
My experience of you is that you're a pretty humble guy. But let me brag on you a little bit. You're the winner of a Dove Award a couple of years ago for the Artist of the Year. Here it is, right
Cue
here.
Dove Award.
Right.
Thanks, John.
This is you are the winner of the Dove Award for Best New Artist of the Year. That's what I have here in my hand. And most recently, Contemporary Album. So you're attracting a lot of attention.
I'm a huge Christian music fan. I grew up listening to Christian music. And so it was a real honor to actually be recognized by the Christian music industry in that kind of way.
You said you had some work this summer with Franklin Graham. Well, come on, it's a little bit more than that. How is what kind of work are you going to do with Franklin Graham this summer?
Well, we've done
it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it is. We've done some stuff with the Billy Graham organization, and Billy is sick now, and he doesn't do the Crusades anymore, but his son Franklin does. So this summer we're doing some Crusades, and I'm actually going to be leading worship before he comes out, and he's asked me to actually kind of intro his speaking time. So it'll be cool to be a part of something that's historical, something that's going to change communities. I mean, they go a year in advance and start prepping the community. I think you guys have been involved.
Absolutely,
with that, right?
Yeah, it's been wonderful.
And it's just amazing to see how seriously they take it, and they want it to be lasting. They want there to be follow-up, and so I'm just really looking forward to being a part of that and seeing God work in such a huge way.
What was really touching for me is to know that you're not just an artist in residence that wants to come and play music and leave. You really want an ongoing relationship with Christ Church. You want us to be praying for you when you're on the road. You want our people to know where you are. You want to be, in some sense, sent from Christ Church. And the last couple of weeks, we've been putting together some prayer teams for you, and some people that would come into your life and kind of mentor you in this stage in your life. Mm-hmm. How does that make you feel?
Well, as my home church, I mean, the more prayer that we can have when we're on the road, I mean, the better, because we encounter all kinds of situations where we need that covering. We need Christ to be going before us and preparing people's hearts. And I know that happens because I can feel it when we go and play these concerts. And, when we get up there, we trust that God is going to do His thing regardless of anything else. Because it's not about us. It's not about the big show or anything like that. It's about reaching people for Christ and changing lives.
At Christ Church, we've been a church that is, and now we've got 4 generations of people that worship with us. And so we have a traditional choir, we've got a vocal team, we've got we've got congregational singing, and we're at a point now where, frankly, I love it all. I love the traditional music that we sing, the great big hymns of the church. I love what the vocal team puts together. When you're here, I love what you do, and the vocal team's with you. I think we're really getting into a great rhythm, and I can't thank you enough for your ministry and service here at Christ Church, and I want you to know that we will certainly be praying for you when you're on the road.
Well, thank you. There's so many ways to worship God. There's not one music style that God listens to and goes, "Oh, that's my favorite."
Right.
He hears it all, and as long as our hearts are in it and we're passionate and focused on Christ, I mean, it brings Him joy. And growing up, I went to some churches where I thought that God only listened to hymns.
Right.
But then I went to a church in Nashville for a short time, and it's the church that God of Wonders came out of, and I saw the Anglican tradition with various different styles of music, and it's cool to see that Christ Church is embracing that too.
Yeah.
And it's a little something for everybody.
Well, thanks so much for your ministry
Absolutely.
here.
Thank you.
God bless you.